Hello and welcome. I'm Bob Lichter, and I will be interviewing individuals for Kenosha Voices, an oral history project for the Kenosha County Historical Society in conjunction with Kenosha Community Media. I am a member of the Kenosha History Center and have volunteered there since 2015. We hope that you will enjoy these programs. I'm with Gus Harris, owner and operator of Flex and Burn Fitness Studio in downtown Kenosha. Hello, Gus, and welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What products or services do you provide at Flex and Burn?
Well, Flex and Burn is a small entity, a very small business that I started back in 2010. We offer all sorts of fitness business in terms of personal training. We do fitness coaching, we do Zumba, we do nutritional coaching, Pilates, cycling, all aspects of fitness we try to integrate into our business there too. So that's what we do for the most part.
Well, what brought you to Kenosha to have your business here?
I'm originally from West Africa. I was born in Liberia. Unfortunately, we had a long civil war there, and it was brutal. The Blood Diamond Wars, as they alluded to. I escaped the war, and I went to live in a refugee camp for 2 years. I was in Ivory Coast, in a town called Danane, and I lived there for 2 years. And with the help of friends and missionaries who put some effort together, they galvanized some effort to help get me out of there. So I was very fortunate. At the time, most of the people who were getting the help were the women, elderly, and children. As a young man myself, it was tough. But I was ambitious enough and persistent, and I persevered a lot, and I became very good friends with some of the people who worked in the camp, and some people over here helped me get to the States too. So.
And some had ties to Kenosha.
Kenosha, yeah. There was some local people in the area who had ties to the area, and one of the individuals on the team was affiliated with the Lutheran Church too. So, because the folks who were helping, some of them were Lutherans, and Carthage being a Lutheran affiliated school, that's how it kind of came together. Luckily, apparently, again, there was all kinds of incidents that led to the success of that, because apparently Carthage was bringing in like 2 or 3 students every year, and it just so happened, not from my region for sure, not the region I was from, but eventually one of them had to go back for some odd reason, and there was just this one open spot there. So thank goodness it happened.
So you went to school at Carthage, and then
Carthage.
You continued on with
Yeah, I did Carthage. I was very fortunate. Came straight from the camp, right to the class. No ACT, SAT. So it was a I won't call it experiment, but it was just one of those things. No one knew how it would play out, but it worked really well. I graduated. I did 3 years, and I finished the college in 3 years with 2 majors. So.
And then you went on to Marquette University?
Yeah. After Carthage, I worked a couple of corporate jobs in Milwaukee. I worked at Rockwell Automation, and then I matriculated to Marquette. Again, that was a trial thing. I didn't know they would let me in. So, but I had some good GMAT scores, thank goodness, and I applied. I wasn't sure, because I'm not, again, maybe I made some assumptions that not being a Catholic, I was like, well, it's a Catholic school, who knows? But I applied anyways, and I got in, thank goodness.
Okay. So starting in the corporate world, but fitness was always part of who you are, right?
Yeah, all my life I've been into fitness. I mean, as a little boy, I was in sports. I played everything, every imaginable sports you have, and we had good competition, and I was fortunate to be one of the leaders on most of the teams. So I was used to helping, and not realizing I was even doing that prior to even making this into a formal thing, because sometimes what is your calling, it comes to you, and that's what people say. You don't look for it, it finds you. So it tends to, follows you through. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you start out in downtown, or did you have an office somewhere?
Yeah, on Green Bay Road. We started up on Green Bay. I started very, very small. Again, My approach to this was super conservative. A lot of businesses. I study how the evolution of businesses. I read a lot. I looked at different examples of how businesses have evolved during the time, and what causes them to fail. In fact, so I tried to circumvent some of those. So I started very, very, very small, very conservative, super low overhead, and then build my business on customers. So, and that's how I stay successful so far. Yeah, conservative, very conservative with expenditures and how I spend in the business. I wasn't going particularly to get the bells and whistles off the bat and all the technology. I branded myself as a business, so I figure if I did a good service, which paid off with my customer, it would be successful. Yeah.
Do you have a staff that you work with?
Yeah, sometimes
employees?
I work with contractors.
Okay.
Again, I keep my entity as small as possible. I work at full times, but we have contractors who come in and help with some of the work there too. Okay. So it works perfectly fine. I have sometimes people leave for me to use my facility as such. Okay. So it's worked pretty well. I've had people who've used it to do, so I can rent it out to do camps and things like that, football camps for little kids and classes for a variety of different things, as a matter of fact.
What special skills or certifications did you need to get into this?
Yeah, there's just numerous you can get. Like I did a couple of certs with the ACE, American Council Exercise. There's you can study sports science and you stay on top of all your different certification. You have to be well versed with anatomy. You study a lot of things regarding safety, health and safety, breathing apparatus, and all that stuff. So. That's pretty much what you need. There are various levels you can go within the program too, with exercise science as a major as well too, and get graduate degrees in some of those courses.
What about your client base? Age ranges, different abilities, things like that?
Kind of is wide and varied. I see pretty much everybody. 80% of my client base are females, and then male 20%. But the age variation goes from 9 years old to 82, 83. I've got experience with working with everybody. There's a consortium. There's a group. The middle is mostly middle age, so a heavy set of the number of data is based within the middle, and then it's skewed with the really young, and then the seniors on the other side.
So each of your clients is unique.
Yeah.
And it's not like just going to the gym to work out, right?
No.
Specific to the client.
Yeah. These are usually working professionals. I get a lot of those individuals who want their time per se, and they're particular about using their time efficiently. They don't have a lot of time to work out to begin with, so they seek out someone who can galvanize an exercise program to produce the best and quickest result for them too. They're mostly time oriented. We build thresholds for improvements. I do that too, and it's like they have certain goals. We build, as in corporate, we build SMART goals, we call it, specific. It's measurable, it's attainable, those kinds of things, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's a typical workday like for you? Hours? And so
it's early. You have to be an early person. I've always been an early person. I get up at 4. Most people cringe at that, but it's nothing for me. I'm up at 4, and you have to love it. Yeah, it's difficult to do such a business if you don't like getting up in the morning. The hours varies. It fluctuates all through the day. Again, it's skewed for me on both ends, the earlier part of the day and then the latter part of the day. But I do see clients all through the day, lunchtime, during, et cetera, et cetera. So, and everybody's different. So each person that walks into the facility have different goals. You have different set of exercises you have to conduct for them. You have to approach differently. There are people who come in with injuries. You have to adjust constantly. The client will come in one day in a certain condition, the next day they have my back is hurting, for an example, and so you have to adjust and make the exercises appropriate for them at that point.
I see. And where do your clients come from?
Typically all over Kenosha, some Zion, some in the vicinity, the surrounding towns here, but heavily referrals. I'd say 90%. I've not gone into using the heavy technology as far as advertising or Facebook or the rest of them, the Instagrams and all the other apparatus that are out here right now. But my clients are my best advertisers. It seems to work really well for me. So I focus on the clients, and then they do the advertising.
Okay. How did your business get through the 2020 COVID pandemic?
Oh, it was a tough time. You had all kinds of things going on. We had to adjust that technologically too. There's a lot of fear, as you know, with COVID was going on, and all the regulations, the gyms closing. I was able to, because I have a conservative approach to business, particularly, I was able to work with clients. I did a little bit of reserve to help me with that, and then we got into technology, and we were using like the Zooms, sometimes Facebook and things like that to help us get the training done. But Zoom was a lot of the training was done using Zoom remote. It's not quite the same as supposed to be in person, but we made it work somehow. But yeah, that was a very interesting time.
So technology really played a big part in.
Yes, I would say yes. And not just the technology too, but I would say personally, the loyalty that I galvanized with my client base too, because a lot of times in those situations, a lot of the clients many facilities or many businesses left and went somewhere else, or they couldn't do it again. But I'm thankful that I have a good base of loyal people, and vice versa. It's a reciprocal thing too as well, because I'm just as loyal to them as, if not more. So it works in that sense. We have a really good cohesive working relationship, and most of them last forever. You become part of the people's families.
Downtown Kenosha has changed a lot in the last decade. What's it like having your business in downtown Kenosha? And are you involved with any parts of the organization there?
Yeah. So downtown, there's everybody. I've been in Kenosha for many years now myself too. You hear all the pros and cons about going downtown, and there was a lot of rumors about don't go down to Kenosha. The quote was, "There's nothing there." I said that's exactly where I want to go, where there's nothing. Whereas everybody's running to a particular point, you want to go where everybody's not going. So I was able to build my business there and acquire a good rent. I was able to acquire a good rent point that helped with keeping the business sustainable for a long time too. So the market in that area, it was not as tough too, because I'm not competing with a whole bunch of people. I'm unique within my own, so I just worked it that way.
Okay. Have any local, world, or national events affected your business over the last decade?
Well, of course, the big riots we had, of course, when in Kenosha
in 2020.
2020, yeah, that was a very interesting, particularly disturbing time for all of us, and it did affect the business, but we came back from that. That was a time where we had to look ourselves in the mirror as far as what Kenosha was about and some of the difficulties that we had here, particularly with the race relations and things of that nature. I've personally had some unfortunate stuff in the past too, but overall, it opened our eyes to that we're not immune to some of the tougher issues that the rest of the world deals with too. So, as Kenosha is a very nice town and beautiful, but there's some aspects that have festered, and it woke a lot of people up too. And so, oh my gosh, we didn't realize, or some people realized it was here, but it was subdued for a while. So, but that was a very challenging time. We had to learn to look at ourselves and work together to pass that point.
Mm-hmm. What's the best part of your job?
The best part is that I like it. I enjoy it. I really do. And I think that's one of the success attributes. If you do decide to become an entrepreneur, go into something, it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. I'll tell everybody that. But make sure you enjoy it and you like it. And then, yeah, it doesn't seem as difficult. You will have major challenges at times, like in any activity, but the best part is the people. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert, so I like talking to people. I like to work with people. I like seeing people grow and attain their goals and live happy lives. Not, your health is the most important thing. It's not the finances or money or whatever. So when people have achieved health and got better with their health, I think I've contributed tremendously to their life by being a facilitator, by helping and mentoring and things of that nature. Like I said earlier, you do become parts of people's families too, because by helping one, you're helping. There's a residual impact. You're helping this. It cascades into many other avenues that you never even remember. Because I like when, to this day, I'm walking in Kenosha. There are kids now, because I've been in it 12 years now, that came in as high schoolers who got to college, finished college. They've started their own families, but they still come in when they get to visit town. They stop by to come see you, so see me.
You have many year and maybe even generational relationships?
Yes, I would say it's permanent. And what I do in there, I'm very cognizant of the fact that when folks leave my facility, they discuss, my name comes up at a dinner table, or it's somewhere in the household. So it's very important. I know it makes a big difference, huge. Very, very big difference in a small way for greater impact. So it's kind of interesting. I could be working for the biggest company in the world and sitting in a corner office and pushing out numbers, but in this small, giant giant way, I've made more of an impact doing this than anywhere else. Yeah.
What about the most challenging part? Is there ever a day where you think,
Yeah, there are some challenges, like I said, too. Sometimes you will have difficulties with, I've not had too much difficulty with personalities with customers, too, but there are challenges with some customers who will come in with physical challenges that I have to really be on cue with working with them. Their safety comes first, so I have to be very, 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 very researched and careful and studied about how I apply the exercises and making sure they leave the facility better than they came in, not worse. And I do a lot of research. I seek other advice from other folks too when I'm working. It's a learning thing. It never ends too. You learn something new every day. So but those are, if there be any challenges, there would. I had other challenges going down. I probably didn't mention this earlier too. When I came downtown, there was miscellaneous challenges with one of my neighbors there too, who for some reason, didn't want the business there. So he did everything possible to shut it. Like he would call the police into my business and things like that. But he lived right adjacent to me. So,
Okay.
but those were some of the challenges. Prior to moving down there are people who parts of Kenosha will say, "Oh my goodness!" Again, I'm an African American man, so I have to say, "Oh my goodness, you're going downtown? Yeah, be careful." And I heard all of that. I was like, "Well, I didn't do anything to anybody. I don't expect that." But there were some smidgens of that too. Overall, no, and most I'd say, yeah, the majority of people are decent.
Anything else you'd like to share about the business or your experience?
Yeah, I think, well, like I said earlier, the impact. I love helping people. I think I've made some major impacts in people's lives many times. I like to continue it. I really enjoy my work. So. But yeah, that's for the most part. That's what it is.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, well, thank you. And on behalf of Kenosha History Center and Kenosha Community Media, thank you for participating in the Kenosha Voices project.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.